Okay, I was looking at the case. I didn't have this open.
You can say 1, 2, 3, and when we're recording, everybody go.
And then I'll just cancel or stop the broadcast.
Yeah. Say, sorry, but we froze up.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant. I think you
The
should totally do
broadcast
it.
is like 10 seconds long.
Technical difficulties.
That's right.
Hey, we've all done it twice, so there should be no report attached, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've all done them, so.
Sweet.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't have to do a report. We'll just, what she likes is if we just give her the link to the video.
Yeah. So this week actually seems pretty straightforward. Like, how have you seen like these things influence people at work? And how do you see these issues impacting the workplace? So it's like substance abuse, divorce, family issues, work, home life balance, same-sex relationships, and then workplace dating.
So what's a same-sex relationship? Is that when you have a relationship with yourself?
I mean, it could.
Sorry.
My HR filter is on.
Not trying to make fun of it. It's just, gotta have a little bit of fun. Anyway, like I said.
All right, so we all get to choose one of these topics. So substance abuse, divorce, family issues, work, home balance, same-sex relationships, and workplace dating. So does anyone want to choose what they want?
I'm going to be completely honest. I was going to read everything tonight, but I was at work at 9 and I'm still at work now.
Oh,
so,
you're fine. No, you're totally fine.
This is becoming like the worst week ever between getting ready for girls camp, trying to work is just insane. Anyways,
all right, well, let you go first then. Have you ever seen anyone with substance abuse, divorce, work, home life balance issues, same-sex relationship issues, or workplace dating relationships that you've seen, and how did it affect their work?
I think we had 2 suicides from depression and from substance abuse.
Okay, so that probably falls.
So I think that's a pretty extreme, that definitely affected their work.
So what happened with the substance abuse? They just got into drugs and alcohol, and they
became irate. Like one of them, he was getting into it, and we said, "Hey, this isn't working. You need to fix some performance issues." And instead of having a conversation with him, he completely flipped out, and it became to the point where we had to terminate him. And then we found out a week later he committed suicide.
Oh, wow.
But I don't think that. I mean, he had been with us for 15 years, so this isn't. This wasn't his normal style. Where they would have given him a second or even third chance had he just been able to pull himself back in. And I think drugs had a big play. The other thing I see is a lot of times employees, if they get hurt on the job, or if, obviously it impairs their judgment a little bit. But if there's something happens, they'll work in hurt conditions because they don't want to get drug tested. You know what I mean? They lift something too heavy, they hurt their back. They don't want to go to the doctor because they know they're going to get drug tested. Whether it means we're going to lay them off or not, it doesn't matter, which usually we don't because it's Colorado.
Yeah.
Which means 95%.
Yeah, how does that work then? So if they test positive for marijuana, it just doesn't matter?
No, it will affect their so there's 2 things. It depends on their job. Mm-hmm. So if they're a driver or if they turn, because we do skiing, so if you're turning screws on rentals, that has a huge liability. So therefore, our policy states if there's any detectable amount of drugs in your test, then you can be terminated. But most of the time, if they're not in those positions, we let it go. It will just affect their like workman's comp. Like if they get hurt on the job and they get drug tested, then they get like a 50% cut on their workman's comp benefit.
Interesting.
But people are so worried that they're going to get fired that they tend to they tend to not report things, which then in the long run affects their job because then they aren't at 100%.
Yeah.
Did I answer the question?
Yeah, you did. You did your
Sweet.
best.
Sorry,
All
my
right.
brain hurts today.
All right, so we have the remaining topics of work-home life balance, same-sex relationships, workplace dating, and family issues. So
I'm okay with either one.
you're okay with any of them? Okay.
Yeah, I've seen them all.
Paul, what do you want to do?
I'll hit on the workplace dating one.
Okay.
When I was managing, we ran into that that I saw a lot of, where they're younger, they're department managers or whatever in the store, and they were always either wanting to date somebody in admin or they were going after somebody in another department or whatever. And it's all cutesy fartsy kind of thing until one of them decides they don't like the other one anymore.
Yeah. And
then you find out that the department they're in starts to wear down. The manager or the person that's a manager trainee or whatever starts treating them like crap because he doesn't like the person anymore, whether it was him or her, didn't matter. And it happens a lot more often than you'd think. Even if it's in the employment mandate to not do that, it happens all the time, whether it's at the store or out. And you can tell who's dating who, even if they're not showing anything at work. So, it affects everything because it slows things right down. It eats away at morale. And then you start, in some cases, you start to see things get broken. and thrown and misplaced and stolen, and it starts to affect every part of that couple's lives.
Yeah.
And
it's not just their relationship, it's their job too.
Yep.
Well, they don't work well with others if they don't like them. If they have a fight at home, they bring it to work, and now you don't have a cohesive environment. You have tension.
Yep.
Yeah. It's true.
Not good.
All right. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with that one. Just distracting, and then like the fallout afterwards just makes it not worth it.
Yeah.
All right. Candice, do you want to go next, or do you want me to go?
I can go next. I'll do the divorce and family issues.
Okay.
So, I don't know much about divorce because I've never had that, but family issues, I've seen it a few times in my job previous and the job I've had now, where you have a good relationship, you're honest with your employee, and you say, hey, my family's doing this and my kid's going here, and they're pretty, if you're honest.
I had to stay late, so I have class at a certain time, so I'm just finishing up class, and then
okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Was everything okay last time?
Yeah, no, you guys are awesome. Okay, awesome. Thank you. We're
gonna listen.
Sorry, cleaning crew.
Oh man, I thought we were gonna get something juicy.
Yeah.
I like that. Talk about workplace issues. Here we go.
We want to hear about the workplace dating. We want to know all the gossip.
That's the benefit of being around HR.
Yeah, it's
you get good stories. All right, sorry, Candace. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was trying to figure out how to mute my headphones, and I couldn't.
So if you're honest with your employer and you say your child's got a play you need to go to, they'll normally let you come in and then leave early enough to get there. But I've seen a few people take it to advantage where they're constantly calling out sick because of simple little things that their kid it's done. Being a single mom, I get irritated if I get a phone call saying you need to come pick your kid up, because I'm like, I don't want to. Just put her in the nurse's office and she can take the bus home, because I don't want to miss all that work. But we had one girl who, she's a single mom of 2 kids, and she lost daycare for a whole week. And she told them, I've lost daycare. I'm trying to get it back. I have nowhere to put my son for the week. But she didn't keep in contact with, management to say what's going on. And she just never came back.
Yeah.
So
plus when they're out, you have to cover them and all that stuff, I would think.
Yeah, so if you got someone out, you've got to find someone to cover them. She was doing our non-knocks. Not everybody in our office knows how to do non-knocks, and so that wasn't a fun week, but we were hoping she would be coming back, and she just never came back because she thought she was fired, and they were waiting for her to call and say what was going on with her daycare issues. So you kind of get put in this tough situation where, yes, your kids come first, but you've got to work too. And if you're,
I think you need to communicate.
Yeah, big, especially with kids. I mean, yeah,
well,
mine's
plus in
older.
addition, well, plus in addition, it's such a hot topic right now. There's so many states that are passing laws like that, like Washington is one of our states that we do payroll for, and now they have the Sick Leave Act, and they have, it's actually a law where you have to give them time off to take care of their family.
Oh,
so.
That's cool.
Not heard of that
So
one.
I think my point is it's a hot topic for employers to be on top of it, and so they have to plan accordingly, and of course it's going to affect their payroll budgets and their scheduling and all that other stuff, and I'm probably talking too much. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
But I mean, you also have to think that the time off that you take, if you don't have the sick time leave, and I know here in Arizona, if you call out sick because of your kid, you don't get sick pay. You're just called out sick. You don't get your sick pay. So
that depends on your employer, though, right? And their employee.
Yes.
That's their policy.
I know the past few jobs I've had, if I've had a call out because my kid's sick, I don't get paid for that day. I'm just out sick. I still have a job, but I just don't get paid for that day that I'm out.
Can you bank hours? Like if you work 10 hours for like a week straight, then like take a day off? Like, is that like kosher?
It depends on who you work for.
Oh, not for you though?
Well, plus on top of that, it would put her into overtime, and that's one of those major labor concerns. They don't want overtime because it increases a bunch of other stuff.
Oh, true.
Because last Friday, I had to take a half a day. I only worked half a day because I had to take my daughter to register for school, do all the class schedule. So that's why I went into work half a day on Saturday, was to make up for my hours.
Yeah.
So my job now, I can, if something happens, I can either go and take care of it and then work from home to make up the hours, or just go in on a Saturday to work the hours, as long as I don't go over my 40 hours a week.
Okay. I'm going to be salary, so I'll be working lots of hours and they won't pay me anymore.
But there are advantages, because then you can take a half day off.
It's true.
You'll have time.
I get like a couple. I think I get like 2.5 or 3 weeks of paid vacation, which is awesome.
Especially coming out of the door. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really lucky. I can go next. So actually, like 6 months ago, I got divorced. And that was probably like the hardest semester. Like even this semester has been really hard, just like trying to remain focused and just like not get distracted, I guess. Cause like it's obviously depressing, but like I can see how it would be really hard to like have a job and go through that, especially like when you have like kids and like a house and like you're talking to lawyers. Like there's just so much more going on. Like I could only imagine how tax that is on like the employee, but then on the employer too, because like then the employer's not getting like any help with like whatever role they're supposed to be filling, and they have to like basically cover for someone. And I mean, that would just be I don't know like who could like, if someone's like, hey, I'm getting divorced, like all this is happening, I'm like going to like a psychologist, I'm like talking to lawyers, I'm like doing these things, and then the employer just being like, well, okay, see you later, like you're fired. Like most people wouldn't do that, but I mean that's probably a really sticky situation for employers. But yeah, so
Yeah, if it's affecting your bottom line at work and your ability to function,
yeah,
then it can be a bit of an issue.
yeah, definitely.
But at least in Alberta, there's supposed to be options available that they push you towards. They don't get involved with it. They just
the EAP or whatever, like the employee assistance programs or whatever.
Yeah.
So they should have access for like resources for you to work with.
Yeah. So they should have stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's never a fun thing to go through.
Yeah, no, definitely not. So we've gone over basically the whole rubric. The last thing it wants us to do is see what other issues we see in society that are likely to impact workplaces in the future. I think one thing is like transgender bathrooms. And just like that whole like kind of like sexual orientation, identifying as like whatever sex you want kind of thing. I think that's got to be hard for employers to navigate through.
They're doing that in schools and stuff now too, and it's just like, ugh.
Yeah. I've heard they're leaning towards just like having individual stalls, like individual toilets. So that way, like, it's just a one-person thing, you know? Like, you go in and
it's just unisex.
Yeah, just unisex. You just go in and doesn't matter. If someone's in there, someone's in there kind of thing. I don't really know of any other, like, major issues. Probably just more working from home and, like, collaboration, like, over, like, documents like Google Docs, like what we're doing. Because, like, it seems like so much more work is being done remotely, but, I mean, that's already been touched on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think to go with your transgender, you currently have laws that force you to like provide a place for breastfeeding, and like all those big family issues are really coming up and taking a forefront. And I think also with transgender, you also have like sexual harassment perception, and stuff like that. I don't know. Trying to think of something else.
That's a really good point.
And it ruins all my good jokes.
What? You had good jokes? I'm listening.
Not really, but it.
I'm totally kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm now saying that something's not right anymore.
It's no longer politically correct.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway. So I think Darren's still there, but he's going to have to leave right away.
Yeah, I am. I'm just setting up the other meeting. So I'm
for your other meeting and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Do we have to do anything else?
No, that's it. This was a pretty easy one.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'll do I just email her this or send it in to like the submission spot?
Yep. Just submit the link to the meeting and she's good.
All right. Cool.
Awesome. Thanks,
You like
Darren.
it when they're easy, right?
Yeah, I got
Easy
one.
peasy.
Wish I did
Hey,
this.
this is our last time. Good luck, everybody.
Yeah, good luck on your finals, everyone.
Good luck.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
All right, bye.